Hey everybody, it's time for another fashion showcase slash review try on thing. Like I've said many times, pretty sure my favorite brand. Like I have a lot of brands that I love, but Punk Rave has been consistently just, I like really keep on top of their stuff, like, and I have done for at least a decade. So today I've got some exquisitely beautiful things from Punk Rave, from specifically punkravestore.com. A few things to show you today that I think you'll really like. I must say I'm so in love. I love period fashion. Like I love stuff that went out of fashion like 200 years ago. Especially lately I'm like really specifically into Edwardian fashion. Like suddenly I'm just like, oh, I love that silhouette, I love everything about it. So the stuff that I have to show you today is all very historically inspired and therefore to me very beautiful. That's one of the things I love about Punk Rave, is they'll have these real fancy things but also the kind of casual everyday stuff, so this is definitely more on the fancy end of the spectrum. So the first thing that we shall look at is this dress I have on right now, which has immediately become one of my favorite dresses. I've already worn it out to dinner. I'm going on a trip. It's probably gonna come with me on the trip. I don't want to part with it. I don't think it's like 100% perfect for my body shape, but when I put a belt around the waist, like a wide belt, like that makes it look really nice. So yeah, this is a very long, super voluminous, beautiful dress made of this patterned velvet. It might be a bit hard to see the pattern on it. It's got a panel of just plain velvet at the front. So I'm showing it to you here just normal, as well as how it looks with a large hoop petticoat underneath. And you can see the sort of difference in the fabrics more easily. This isn't a very good hoop petticoat, but just to give you an idea. These lovely appliques on the front. It's got a bit of boning around the waist, which doesn't cinch the waist or anything. It just makes it slightly firm, and it's adjustable at the back with a bit of corseting. Basically, it's like a new favorite for me. I can foresee myself wearing this and wearing this and wearing this. The only thing I'm not so keen on is I don't really like these big sleeves. Like I find them kind of annoying. I mean, they look nice, but you know, they get in your food and then they can be a bit irritating. So I might be tempted to like cut this part off and just have these bits of the sleeves. Do you think that's a good idea? As always with these videos, I keep my favorite thing for last. So this is probably my second favorite thing. The thing that I want that's my favorite is just ridiculously beautiful. On my clothing racks in this room, like everything's kind of open so you can see it all on display. I always put my favorite garment of the time like at the end so I can look at it. This has now taken the first place for like my favorite thing to look at, so I'm going to keep that for last. What should we look at next? Alright, well, with the theme of dresses, I've got this dress as well, which is quite spectacular. I don't think you could really attribute this to a historical period, but it is just rather amazing. Can you see the material? It's made of this quite strange material, leathery look to it, but not really. It's a bit hard to explain. But this dress is interesting because it's got a cape attached to it. It's all the cool spookiness of wearing a cape without actually wearing a cape. The cape splits. It's like got separate bits in the front and on the back so that your arms can go through, and the sleeves are lace. I think it's actually rather heavy, so it does sort of pull on the shoulders a little bit, but it is for drama. This dress is dramatic. It's so swooshy. I just want to dramatically run around dark corners and look mysterious. It's quite comfortable, apart from, like I say, it's a bit heavy, but it is actually pretty comfortable. The only other downside about this dress is it's quite hard to get on. Like you have to put the whole thing over your head, so there's a lot of kind of bumbling it up and getting it on. It's a little bit confusing, but it's worth it. I'm very happy with this one. The next thing is something that I was really doubtful whether it would look good or stupid. It could have really gone either way. It was a bit of a risk because, like I always point out, I've got quite wide shoulders. I do. I hate it. I just do. I've got wide man shoulders. Is the period I'm thinking of kind of early Victorian, like the very early 1800s, where they had the big, very puffy sleeves? Is that the time I'm thinking of? It was this mad part of history where all the women had these like real big puffy shoulder sleeve things that looked so crazy, and I feel like this blazer jacket is what that's sort of inspired by, because it does have these big puffy shoulders, and I thought this could look potentially ridiculous on me with my already wide shoulders. Puffy things can sometimes work on wide shoulders if the puffy bit starts further in. Does that make sense? Like rather than it puffing from here out, like puffing from further in. Does that make, do you know what I mean? I'm still not really sure. You know, tell me what you think. I quite like it. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can get away with it, but I quite like it. It's a light material and it's got the most lovely lace trims around and a little bit that pokes out at the back. It's an interesting shape, and I must say the knot that it does up with at the front is very beautiful. It's so big and fancy, quite short in the body and flares out, so it's an unusual shape for a thing. I've tried it just with like a plain top underneath and also with a cravat, just to give you an idea, to see, you know, what it would look like with something roughly there. I think that kind of works. I know these sorts of things for most people aren't everyday clothes. For some people they are. For some people they're like weekend clothes or festival or party clothes or whatever. I just love really old-fashioned clothes. Like, some things I just wish would come back. Not the big puffy sleeves, that can stay back in the 1820s or whenever that was. Next we have what I think must be the most beautiful pair of leggings I have ever seen. Now, I'm glad that in the last few years, like really interesting, fancy, frilly leggings with bits and bobs hanging off them, bits of lace inserts, have really become a lot more popular. I think because they've become so popular now, there's like so many kinds, and I feel like a lot of designers sort of copy each other, all becoming a little bit boring and repetitive with these fancy leggings. But these ones really stood out to me, I think, mostly just because they're two different colors. These are made of a kind of, what would you, this is not wet look, it's sort of like a fine, light, faux, leathery sort of material. If you look here, it has these beautiful inserts of this lovely bright red with lace and applique over the top. As with everything I get from Punk Rave, I wear a double XL because their sizes are very small. It does have a very stretchy waist and also ties on the waist so that you can tighten it. I feel like these would look really nice under a mini dress with a pair of boots, and like something that you can see them. They're so fancy, you'd want them to be sort of the main feature of your outfit. They're rather, you know, vampire looking, aren't they? I'm going to safely say that the prettiest pair of leggings I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of pretty leggings. It's Punk Rave, so it's good quality, it's nice, and should hopefully last a long time. Penultimate item. This is a little, what's not a waist cincher, I guess it's more of a belt, because it doesn't have boning in it or whatever, like it doesn't actually cinch the waist. So I'd say it's in the category of wide waist belts. If you hear me talking about fashion a lot, you'll know that I love those and I wear them all the time. I'm always looking for nice waist belts. They cut an outfit in half, they balance things out, they add interest to an outfit, and this one's quite pretty. This is it. Yeah. It laces up at the front, but I think for actually adjusting it, you'd use the lacing up at the back. It's made of this kind of faux leather with these lovely appliques on the front and a pretty trim around it, and it's lined with dark red, and it does it with a zip on the side. If you're gonna wear like a maxi skirt and a kind of plain top, like just putting this between those things would make the outfit so much more elegant and like make it look a lot fancier than it actually is. Now for my favorite thing that I've just been so looking forward to showing you. Let me pick it up. I'm just happy that they make stuff like this at all, that there is some brand out there that manufactures these things that you can just buy off the rack. So this is an epic skirt. It's, I guess you call it a bustle skirt. It is just a big, impressive skirt. It's very hard to show you just like this, so you'll be able to see in a minute, but it's very Victorian. Like, look at it. That's the back. That's the back. So bit of dark red. I know, oh my god, what is with all this color? If you look at my wardrobe, it's solid black, but there's like the occasional little bit of red because it's my contrast color that I like the most. The only sad thing about this is that it's a little bit too big, which is amazing. Like, everything else I've got fits perfectly and I always get everything the same size. Unfortunately, I don't think I lost weight or anything, but this is actually like a little bit too big, so I guess I'm gonna have to try and take it in a bit, or maybe I'll get someone who's better at sewing than I am to take it in a bit for me. It's got this great heavy layer of thick tucked up velvet and this big beautiful applique type thing on the front with tassels. The bottom part has black lace over the top, which transitions into black lace over dark red at the back, and at the back is this beautiful cascading, oh, well, you can see it, look at it. So this is what it looks like by itself, and here I've got a little butt cushion underneath, you know, to make the bustle part stand out. So I'm wearing like a, well, it's a butt cushion basically that ties around the waist, so I have that on underneath so you can see more the silhouette it can achieve. I die, I weep, I cry. It's just, oh, it's so perfect. I have a lot of beautiful things, most of which are Punk Rave, but this has got to be This is my new #1. This is my new favorite. You ever see something you're like, that was made for me? Like that was designed for me. Well, it's jolly heavy, but it's impressive as, oh, it's so fucking impressive. I just want to look at it all the time and I want to admire it all the time. I want to wear it out. I want to go to a party or something so I can wear this. Thank you so much, Punk Rave store. Just, these things are so beautiful, just really, really me. What was the thing that you liked the most? Would you wear historical fashion out in public? Would you just go like full 1870s or something just to go out shopping? Because I do sometimes. I describe my own look as being kind of a mash between 1880 and 1980. Just because something went out of fashion 200 years ago doesn't mean it's not still beautiful. Was there anything that you thought was particularly interesting? Because quite obviously I'm just in love with this bustle skirt. Oh, it's so pretty. And I mean, this dress is definitely my very close second favorite. So all those things came from punkravestore.com. I will of course link below so you can very easily go have a look for yourself if you like. I know it's a little bit confusing. There's a lot of places that sell Punk Rave. This place, like I said, that's all they do. They have a really good variety of stuff. I hope you've enjoyed this video and my terrible not modeling skills. If you have not already done so and you jolly well ought to, please subscribe to my channel. Come and join us. And as always, take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, stay interesting, and I'll see you next time. Bye.